Okay, so before we head over to the after-movie diner like a flock of screaming children escaping a building being torn apart by a giant and enraged Dane cook, we just have time for some listeners' letters. We here at Radio Flange Goblet have been emptying our sack, so to speak, and thought we'd share some mail we've received lately from the general public. I know you didn't ask for this, and some of you may be throwing your listening devices down and storming off to punch a member of the clergy, but please, bear with us. The first letter, which I have here, comes from a Mrs. P. Hernia of Dinny on the Melf. To whom it may concern, and their many aunts, she writes, imagine my disgust one day when I tuned into your radio station to find flagrant amounts of Phil Collins scattered about the place like severed limbs after a large boat propeller accident. As per the Reykjavik Agreement of 2005, distribution of the domed-headed one, known as the Collins, was to be restricted so as to not cause widespread panic or rupturing of the face and buttocks. To one song, preferably an early number before he went unbearably twatty, per month, and played in the small hours of the morning so as to limit the exposure to children. I feel that your station, despite the numerous good works you do, for example, that special on Lithuanian knee cookery was a delight, has not been following the agreement to the letter, and I distinctly heard a song on which I know for a fact Collins plays drums, playing around tea time on a Wednesday. It has been brought to our attention by friends we no longer speak to that the song appeared on a topical comedy quiz as part of a parody, but I feel, and so does my gecko lizard William, that even in this context this could be hazardous. Please refrain from any Collins in the future, and may we suggest Neil Diamond instead, although please keep even his works to a minimum. Yours, in a pair of Wellingtons filled with lobster bisque, Petunia. We also got several messages asking us to please have more flagrant topless programming and shows that focus on the violent deaths of TMZ reporters and hosts. We also received this letter from a Mr. Overly Rotund of Binky, Texas. And I warn you before I read you this out that these opinions do not reflect the opinions of the staff here at Radio Flange Goblet and merely of Mr. Overly Rotund. He writes, I spent most of last Saturday standing in an oil drum, stripped to my waist in a 10-gallon hat in a shopping mall, beating my chest and warning people of the upcoming apocalypse which I predict will come about due to the rise in price of highly salted and rubbed meats. We here in Texas don't mess around when it comes to our meats. We wear them as a badge of pride and honor. Why, as I write this to you now, I'm excessively draped in maple-glazed hams. You won't and can't tell us we're not allowed to do this. First, they forced our children to have abortions. They took away our guns so we couldn't defend ourselves against Mexicans. And now I know, because I read it somewhere, they are coming for our meats. I ain't no filthy socialist, and I know the only way to survive the rapture is to eat pork chops at least twice every other meal by raising the prices on us because of the vast liberal Hollywood celebrity California gay agenda and restricting our purchases of hot, spicy, marinated and or salty meats. You are taking away freedom, liberty, babies, the right to conceal carry buttered machetes, and my personal right to wear brightly embroidered pants. I will not stand for this. I will be heard. I am now sitting in a bucket of cowbits. Yours, Ralphin, proud American. Well, we will have more of these fascinating correspondence later, but first, it's of course the After-Movie Diner, the show which the Whippleworth Bugle once described as the perfect excuse not to batter kittens alive or to go to the bathroom all over Harry Connick Jr. Hello and welcome to another episode of the After-Movie Diner, and before we get started on the film conversation, just wanted to make sure I mentioned again the Cartoon Curious podcast, which can be found at cartooncurious.libsyn.com, that's Libsyn, also on iTunes, and they also have a Tumblr page, which is cartooncurious.tumblr.com. Check it out. Owen and Jake, they review all sorts of cartoons from the past, as well as animated films, basically anything that's drawn and animated. They are all over. It's a fantastic show. I do strongly suggest you check it out. That's the Cartoon Curious podcast over at cartooncurious.libsyn.com or on iTunes. Owen and Jake, tremendous hosts, fantastic report, and they also have some great guests. I'm on the Halloween episode, and Kirk Howley from Schlock Treatment, who's also been a guest on this show, has been a guest on their show a couple of times as well. So please do check out the Cartoon Curious podcast. And don't forget, if you haven't already, get your tickets for Horror Realm over at www.horrorrealmcon.com, and they have got a fantastic lineup for their Spring Break Massacre this year, taking place on March 4th through 6th at the Doubletree, Pittsburgh, and they have a fantastic reunion of members of the Nightmare on Elm Street 3, 4, and 5 cast. They also have a Return of the Living Dead reunion as well. They've also got Ken Free, Tiffany Shepis, Felisa Rose from Sleepaway Camp, the first one, and John Russo, and all sorts of fantastic guests over at Horror Realm, as well as great vendors and performers and films that will be being screened and all sorts of great stuff going on there. So do check out horrorrealmcon.com, and another big shout out to Rich Dalzotto for sponsoring our show as well. If you would like to sponsor the show or get your advert read out on this show, then please go over to www.patreon.com/aftermoviediner. That's Patreon, as in patreon.com/aftermoviediner, or go to our website, aftermoviediner.com, and hit the donate button. You can also email me at aftermoviediner@gmail.com if you want anything read out on the show, or if you want to discuss sponsoring the show. That would be absolutely fantastic. Also on aftermoviediner.com, you can find all our social media links and all our contact information. Please don't forget to rate and review the show, and I do hope you enjoy this conversation with Jay Mayo. Thanks for listening. Okay, so here we are in Carl's Oxford Diner on 291 Main Street, Oxford, Massachusetts, for another episode of the After Movie Diner. And it's strictly still after the movie. We watched the movie last night, so that kind of works.
Yeah, that works.
That still works. And I'm sat here with New England's foremost stand-up comedian and podcast entrepreneur himself, the wearer of the greatest sideboards in podcasting. It is, of course, Monsignor Jay Mayo. How are you, sir?
I'm very well. Thank you for having me today.
It's a real pleasure to have you today, sir, in this diner. I feel like you're having me, though. Should we worry that there is a yellow tape around the building that says caution?
Yeah, someone probably died here yesterday or maybe today.
Still looking.
Oh, no, sorry, we're just still looking. Thanks. Sorry, one second. Do you know what you want, sir?
I do, yes. As a frequent visitor of Carl's Oxford Diner, I don't even look at the menu anymore.
Okay, good.
As a matter of fact, I order off menu.
Can you get, like, French toast, 2 eggs, bacon, and sausage?
I'm going to caution you that the serving sizes here are quite large.
Right.
So, like, if you get sausage, you're going to get, like, 25 links of sausage.
Okay.
Yeah, so just keep that in mind. You can certainly get whatever. They'll make you whatever you want.
Yeah, I think I'll have 2 eggs, bacon, sausage, and French toast.
Yeah, do it.
This is the place where they're all rude to you if you don't eat it.
Yeah, it's
Nice.
fun. Yeah, they like to give you the business, if you will.
They give you the shit?
Yeah.
I like that. So, sir, why don't you let the listening several know what was the movie that we watched? What are we talking about today?
We watched the 1987 classic Cyclone.
Wow, look at that. You even looked up the date it was made.
I did.
Starring Heather, why is she in this? She Doesn't Get Naked, Thomas. Directed by Fred Olen Ray of Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers fame. Cameo by Jeffrey Combs. Sort of an extended cameo by Jeffrey Combs.
Yeah.
And an extended cameo by Martin Landau.
Can you get your...
Go right ahead, Chief.
The shaved steak and cheese omelet, wheat toast, fries and beans.
Scrambled eggs, bacon, sausage, and French toast.
It's bacon or sausage. Should I do it on the side or?
However, bacon and sausage, and French toast, please.
Gotcha. You said bacon, eggs, home fries, sausage, and French toast, right?
Yeah, thank you.
How do you want your eggs?
Scrambled.
And white or wheat?
White.
Thanks.
I don't know whether I put enough sugar in that.
There's never enough sugar.
Never enough sugar. Okay, so yeah, 1987 Cyclone.
Yeah.
Do you want to run down the plot, or should I?
Oh, please. I will allow you to do it.
All right.
You can have the honor of it.
I'll have the honor of running down the plot of this thing. So, as far as I can figure it, Jeffrey Combs was building a super turbo, heavily armed, highly armored motorcycle for the government that runs on something called a transformer, which transforms the hydrogen that is naturally in the air into energy, right? Meaning that there would be no need for any fuel whatsoever.
Right.
Although it also runs on regular gas and has nitrous,
Right.
which is never used in the whole movie.
Somehow it has an internal combustion engine, which is the only way you could possibly use nitrous is to mix that with gasoline.
Right.
But once again, because they were always using the transformer and never did use the gasoline, they also never used the nitrous.
Right. Yeah, no, I mean the whole thing. Oh, he said
They
that
just explained that they had it.
yeah, if they
Never
needed
actually used it.
400 horsepower, right?
Yeah,
You could get up
you
to
could
with
get
the
up to-
nitrous.
yeah.
And he said it had as much firepower as an F-16,
Which is also ridiculous.
which is also ridiculous. Why, Jay? Because F-16s have like 500-pound
Yeah,
bombs on
they
them.
can carry like up to 500-pound bombs on them. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
But this was a hefty motorcycle.
Yeah, it was. It did look like it had extra things on it.
Yeah. Well, it had a knife with a knuckle duster handle.
It did.
That's what it had.
Also never used.
Yeah. Also never used, and completely bizarre considering you would be riding fast on a bike.
Yeah.
Maybe it was if you got off the bike for hand-to-hand combat. Kind of
Right.
thing, but. So there was that, and Jeffrey Combs is killed by some like cyber neo-punk looking people. Some guy has like a shock of bleach blonde hair, and the woman just like smokes smokes at you. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
smokes with an attitude at you.
She also had very interesting makeup on throughout the whole movie.
Right.
Like,
She couldn't tell if she wanted to be like a 1920s Blade Runner, like retro throwback punk, or whether she wanted to be all out crazy punk chick.
Yeah. She was pretty aggressive with the eye makeup and the
Yeah.
cheek makeup. Seemed like she could have been a member of Twisted Sister if she really wanted to.
Yeah, oh, definitely. In fact, all the women in this have like an odd shape.
Yeah, well, that's a whole thing. I feel like I'm about to launch into a whole thing, but I
Cheap
really
costumes and odd shapes.
Yeah, everybody, not to pick on anybody for their physical attributes or anything, but everybody had a strange body shape.
Yeah, they did.
It
Yeah.
seemed like everybody's hips were way too high.
Yeah.
Bad enough that
Lumpy butts.
all the women were wearing terrible mom jeans that were way too high anyway, but
Yeah.
like all of their body shapes seemed like, you don't look like a human being. What is wrong with your body?
Yeah.
It was just very strange.
Mum jeans that accentuate the womb area.
Yeah,
Which I think is
I called it the gunt.
the gunt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's half gut and half
Something else.
yeah.
Yeah.
Gunt. So he's killed. Jeffrey Combs is killed
Yeah.
for the technology of the transformer. But sort of tells her in a video that she finds purely by accident in his secret warehouse, which is just behind the fireplace of his house.
Right.
And therefore not very secret at all, considering everybody finds it within a minute of her going home there.
Yet the bad guys ransacked the house, couldn't find it.
Yeah.
However, as soon as she goes home for the first time, everybody else can somehow find this secret lair.
I presume she left it open when she went out with the bike.
Right.
So he leaves her a video that says, look, we don't know who to trust. Well, no, you can trust Bob Jenkins. Bob Jenkins. And he was like, you can give the bike to him, but really, we don't know who to trust, and will you do this task for me? And we don't know what she does for a living, right?
We know she goes to the gym.
We know
that.
she goes to the gym with her best friend,
Right.
who would later double-cross her.
Right. Very strong.
Spoilers. Very strong
Very
best
strong,
friend. Again, another gym buddy, female. But she could be a hairdresser for all we know. Like, we know that she has absolutely no skills other than she can fight and go to the gym.
Right. Because that's literally the only thing she does pretty much throughout the entire movie, other than ride a motorcycle.
Right. But instead, we're entrusting the fate of the free world and our reliance on renewable energy to her.
To a hairdresser with oddly shaped hips.
Yeah, and mom jeans. So she takes on board this. She's like, no, I'm up for riding this military-grade motorcycle, which really just looks like a Kawasaki with some plastic bits.
That's exactly what it was.
Stuck on.
That's exactly what it was. It's just a Japanese, 1980s Japanese motorcycle with some plastic on it. That's all.
Yeah. Oh, there was some casual racism at the beginning of the movie.
Yes, there was.
Where they were like, she drives a Jap bike.
Yeah.
And I was like, really? Was that necessary? I've seen no reason for it whatsoever, but...
I mean, the scene where they, in the beginning, where they're at the gym and then all of a sudden they're in the locker room and there's just the most oddly shaped women completely naked showering all together, like seemingly having a great time with each other.
Yeah.
You know, like women do at the gym.
Yeah.
Completely naked and very oddly shaped, a lot of hair going on back there.
Yeah.
And they just keep panning back and forth so that you can keep seeing, hey, look at these naked, oddly shaped women.
That's because the two main women they had in it
refused to get naked.
Didn't get naked.
Yeah.
So they had to, like, Fred Olen Ray was like, look, when people come to my movies, they expect tits and bush.
Right.
How do I crowbar that in clumsily? I know, we'll have them in a gym
scene.
locker room.
Yeah. That seems to be the only reason that they were at the gym.
Yeah. It was a bit like that scene in Nuns on the Run, where they, for no apparent reason, go into a locker room just so they can have sweaty tits.
Oh, yeah. That's how they open this movie, is with sweaty tits. Well, they open the movie with some 10 minutes of motorcycle riding. Yes, please. They open the movie with about 10 minutes of awkward motorcycle riding, seemingly for no reason. And then,
well, just to pad out the running time.
Yeah, and then next scene, sweaty tits.
Yeah. Motorcycles and sweaty tits.
Yeah.
That's really what we're looking at here. And it was okay. And then, so she sort of avenges his death. Keeps the motorbike out of the hands of evil Martin Landau. What the hell he is doing in this movie, I have no idea. I just presumed that in 1987 all that lucrative Space 1999 money had run out, so he was like, I'll take a job in a Fred Olen Ray bike picture.
I'll take $500 to do a movie.
Yeah, right. He's trying to do a deal with the Japanese. Again, very odd that the Japanese keep coming back into this.
Yeah. There is a little bit of subtle racist undertones to this movie.
The thing I couldn't figure out, and you kind of explained to me, but I'm still a little shady on it, I guess just because they could blackmail the world with it, I guess.
Yeah.
But, like, why does it matter who the formula for clean energy sort of falls into the hands of? You know what I mean?
I think it's all money. I think they're trying to sell it. Obviously, Martin Landau, they explain that he's trying to sell it for $5 million to the Japanese. So for him, the only motivation is clearly just money.
Right.
And I'm assuming the Japanese are going to do the same thing, wherein they say, okay, hey, we have this way to make new energy, but the vehicles or whatever we're putting it in are going to cost $1 million each.
Right.
So they can recoup all this crazy money. They can, if they're the only ones that have this brand new technology, they run the market on price, so they can literally charge anything they want.
Right.
So I think it all just boils down to money.
Right.
Logically, it all boils down to money. If we take ourselves completely out of this movie, why do they do it? Because why not? Because they can have chase scenes and sweaty tits. That's why.
Right. And because they can kill a lot of people.
Right.
Which they do. They kill a lot of people in this movie.
They do kill a bunch of people.
Over this new energy.
Yeah.
Also, you would think, though, that if this new energy was possible, which, by the way, it is
Wildly impossible.
Right.
Also, it was about the size of the average cell phone right now.
Yeah, right.
So it wasn't like this big, huge thing.
No, it was like an iPod that clipped into the front of the motorbike.
It's just this little tiny, small black plastic box. That's it.
You'd think that if Combs couldn't trust anybody in the military anymore, if Martin Landau came to him and was like, I'll give you $5 million for this technology, and Combs went, no, and Landau went, considering this technology would be worth billions.
Right.
I mean, billions for the rest of time. You go, okay, I'll give you 10 million. Like at some point, Landau would have, Combs would have been like, well, I can't trust the military. This guy, although he might like strangle the market, is willing to give me millions of dollars.
Right.
You might take the deal, or an ice pick in the head.
Yeah. Either that or the guy's going to definitely kill me.
Yeah.
So
because I keep getting phone calls where they keep
They keep saying, we're going to kill you.
Yeah.
Either give us the transformer or we're going to kill you.
Yeah. Or we'll give you $5 million.
Yeah. I probably would have went with the $5 million and then moved to a remote island somewhere.
Which I have to say, like at one point he offers her $350,000 as if that was a lot of money. I think in 1987, $5 million wasn't a lot of money.
But I think he was also trying to play up the fact that clearly she's just a dumb blonde hairdresser that doesn't know anything.
Right.
So, like, to her, maybe that did seem, maybe in his vision, to her that seems like a lot of money.
Right.
And then he instantly bumped it up to $750 as soon as she refused.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, maybe she's not that dumb after all. How about double? And she's like, yeah.
No.
Actually, the math doesn't work out on that, but I'm still not taking the money.
She's also, because of her gym membership and hairdressing ability, able to withstand, what is it, like...
Torture.
Yeah, electrical torture,
Yeah.
which again was wildly scientifically improbable.
Yes, yeah, they tried to electrocute her with a battery charger. However, they were just touching her skin with the little clamps, meaning...
They weren't even touching her skin, they were touching her mum jeans.
Yeah, they were just touching her jeans. Yeah, they weren't even touching her bare skin, they were just touching her legs
Yeah.
on top of her jeans with them. Not creating any sort of electrical circuit whatsoever.
Right.
They were just touching her with it, and she
Yeah.
was apparently getting electrocuted.
Yeah. Which was hilarious because we then later found that she had the transformer just tucked down the front of her bra.
Right. So she was able to be electrocuted.
Yeah.
It didn't short out this transformer that was touching her bare skin,
Yeah.
and or also didn't electrocute her to death, being
Right.
that it was sitting right next to her heart.
Right.
And it is an electronic component. Where
And they didn't think, wait a minute, before we put her in the chair and electrocute her, let's pat her down?
yeah, see if she has it on her person. Yep.
Right.
Well, yeah, I mean, you don't want to get gross about it. You don't want to get too frisky with her. I mean, we are still talking gentlemen here, you know.
Yeah.
They will almost electrocute her to death, but they're not going to inappropriately touch her in any way.
Yeah, at one point the FBI guy comes in who's double-crossed as well. Like this film has a scene in which her best friend and her FBI handler double-cross her at exactly the same moment. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Thanks.
Oh, you're not done yet.
No, I
You
know.
have more coming.
I haven't got the bacon yet.
I don't know if you got enough. That's potato. You just get it.
Okay.
You just get it.
This is incredible, people. This is more food than I've ever seen.
I told you. I tried to warn you. Let's
But I
go.
wanted bacon, sausage, and egg.
Yeah, no,
Like,
you're getting it. You're getting all of it. You're getting all of it that they have.
I understand.
Yep.
I understand. I don't really understand. It seems like a massive waste of food.
Yep, you're right. You are correct. Thank you.
Do the hot sauce and mustard?
No, we're good, thank you. I'm glad they gave me more toast because I needed that. Okay, this is... I have to stop the show just to take a picture.
I'll take a picture for you.
This is absolutely the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. This seems like a wildly inappropriate level of food.
And you thought you were going to be hungry again later.
Yeah. I'll be lucky to be alive later. But why didn't they just...
Why not? Because this is America, John. This is how we do it.
This is all very well, but it's like wildly stupid at the same time.
This is the same thing as action movies and, fake breasts. Because why not? Because this is America. That's why.
Right.
There doesn't have to be a logical explanation for it. It's just because we can.
This is more food than the last 2 breakfasts we cooked for both of us at home.
Combined.
Combined.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll just take the insults, I don't care.
Okay.
This is what's incredible about this, and I'm all for America, but this is a wildly, inappropriate amount of food.
That's what makes it so good.
There are children dying.
Yeah. Not here.
No.
Maybe
Well-
from congestive heart failure.
Right. I'm already full, so yeah. This is going to go well. So, what were we saying? Cyclone. So why don't you give us your your feeling on the movie, sir?
First off, any movie that has robot motorcycles in it, I'm all for.
Right.
I mean, the very first scene where they do the establishing shot of, clearly this is a motorcycle movie because we're going to do 10 minutes of a guy just riding this weird motorcycle.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw the shape of it and the ridiculous pieces that they've added to this motorcycle, I'm like, oh, this looks like if RoboCop was a motorcycle, this is what he would look like.
It can't even turn in a donut. He has to do it with his foot.
Yeah.
That's how bad this motorcycle
Can't even turn the handlebars far enough to make the bike turn around.
That would be good at 400 horsepower.
Yeah. You start doing donuts. So I liked the look of the bike. I realized right away, like, this is going to be a movie that I'm going to enjoy, just because of how ridiculous the motorcycle looked. Then we get to the gym. We get to the gym scene, and now I'm really interested. Not because I'm into random women in the shower room seemingly washing each other, although that did pique my interest. The fact that they were showing these women's oddly shaped bodies is what piqued my interest. So now, not only do we have robot-looking motorcycles, but we also have very oddly shaped people. So I enjoyed that aspect of it. The subtle racist undertones also, I'm a big fan of.
Yeah.
The fact that they could get away with saying that kind of stuff, and it seemed like it wasn't a big deal to anybody.
No. I thought it was spectacular the way every time she came out of a place, there were 3 people waiting to beat her up.
Right.
For no reason.
And she would beat them up and just move along her day like that didn't happen. As if this is like a daily occurrence in her life, like not a big deal.
She comes out of the gym, there are 3 scabby-looking hoods on her motorbike. Why didn't you drive American, honey? Like that kind of thing.
Yep.
They're going to beat her up everywhere she goes for her jab bike. Then she goes to the bike store where you think people might appreciate the variety of bikes available on offer in 1987 in LA. Nope.
Not so much.
Still racist.
Yep.
So then she beats them up.
It's just mostly just a series of racism and her beating people up.
Yeah. And then Jeffrey Combs gets all excited about literally a metal rod.
Yeah, she bought him a metal rod, which they never explain exactly what it is, other than she bought it for him. She beat somebody up with it in between buying it and bringing it home to him, and that he was very excited and wanted to hang it on the wall. End of story. Like there was no backstory on what it was or why he was excited about it. It was just a thing he wanted, apparently. It just seems strange, and it had blood on it. We know that because she beat someone about the head with it.
It was like a Wentworth 38 or something. He was like, oh my god, it's a Wentworth 38.
Right.
Like, it's a metal rod.
It's just an inanimate metal rod. There was no descriptive features of it other than it was probably about 16 inches long and about 1 inch wide and about a ½ inch thick.
Which is my measurements.
Right. You're absolutely right. Proven by the fact that he goes around showing everybody. So yeah, it just seems strange. There was not a lot of description in those little details, but so I liked all that the aspect of the robot motorcycle and the oddly shaped people and what have you. I'm the kind of person that doesn't like the stuff that we were talking about earlier, where he was talking about the firepower of the motorcycle, and that we had the equivalent firepower of an F-16, which is a ridiculous thing because all it really had on it was
6 rockets,
a knife and 6 rockets, and apparently a laser. Which F-16s don't have any of those things.
No.
But they do have rockets.
You mean an F-16 doesn't have a little brass knuckles knife?
No,
doesn't have
no.
That was
last time I
horrible.
checked,
I just stumbled all over that.
Last time I checked, I haven't seen any brass knuckle knives on an F-16.
Although you want to buy one now.
Although I desperately want to own one. Not want to, will own one. So the technical facts always bother me, but I liked the chase scenes in this movie. I really enjoyed the fact that she was tortured like a lot, like almost to death, and then gets away, but basically breaks free with the help of one other of the military,
the FBI
people or whatever.
Yeah, right.
She's able to break away, and then subsequently beats everybody up after a long chase scene.
Yeah. Well, she gets boiling hot coffee thrown in
Scalding
her face.
coffee. She gets electrocuted several times.
Yeah.
Boiling hot coffee thrown in her face.
Yeah.
She gets beat up a little bit here and there. She's tossed around. Still is able to physically run away, drive a motorcycle, and then beat the shit out of everybody. Like, beat everybody up to the point where they're like passed out, and the cops can come and take them away.
Right.
After all of the torture. Yeah. I'm gonna marry a girl like that.
The cops who just believe her.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, we know what's really going on. You don't have to explain it. Don't worry. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
We got all these. Oh, you caught the bad guys for us. No need for us to investigate. We'll take care of it
Wait a
from
minute,
here,
this
ma'am.
was an international conspiracy to try and get hold of some renewable energy?
That the LAPD apparently knew everything about and just trusted her and said, "Yep, you're good to go. On your way, ma'am. Thanks for your help." I gotta tell you, that's the kind of woman I want to marry.
And then,
Not the oddly shaped part, though.
in a particularly American way, she destroys it.
She does. It's too much hassle for her.
Yeah.
After she gets through all of that,
Yeah.
she survives. She's able to save the transformer, mix it all the way to the end, can cleanly walk away. All she does is literally just lightly tosses it against a wall,
Yeah.
and the thing explodes.
Right.
After she's been electrocuted with it touching her person,
Yeah.
after she's been shot at, roughed up,
Right.
driven around on a motorcycle, the whole deal, survived all of that, but then can just lightly toss it on the ground and the thing explodes. I didn't understand that part of it at all. Like, how did it physically make it through all of that and then couldn't withstand
I don't know how I'm
touching a
physically
brick
going
wall?
to make through any more of this.
True. Well, just pretend that you're the transformer. I think you can survive. You're a resilient man, and that's what I like about you.
I bet they won't box it up either.
No, they will.
Oh, they will?
They'll make fun of you, but they will.
Good. I don't care about being made fun of. I'll box it up and you can have it, because... Fuck.
There's a lot of food.
It's just a stupid amount of food. I like...
Pretty warm here. It might be nice back
Like, if it was me, if someone asked for, like, 2 meats rather than 1 meat, just give me half that amount of bacon and half that amount of sausage.
No way. That's not how they do it here. They only make the one size.
Yeah. Well, one size does not fit all.
It does if you're 500 pounds. It does if you're a competition eater. But this is like legit a competition amount of breakfast.
Yeah, well, this is like a competition amount of breakfast for like 4 people. I in no way need any of that bread. That's what's hilarious about it.
No one needs that amount of bread. In the history of mankind.
How?
What was your favorite part of the movie?
My favorite part of the movie was sitting there going, what the fuck is Martin Landau doing in this movie? No, I mean, my favorite part of the movie was the last, like, 15 minutes where they had the big chase.
Yeah.
And they were like, we're going to spend all the money that we have left on, you know, explosions that don't kill people, which was really bizarre. Like, it had lasers on it that set up a wall of fire, like, in the street. And yet all the cars and even a motorbike drove through several of them.
Right. Unless the laser was absolutely perfectly placed, in which then the car and motorcycle both flipped over and, like, almost exploded.
Right.
So, like, you mean to tell me that a laser beam can cause a fireball?
Right.
Which is, I don't think, ever been done in the history of mankind.
No.
But also on top of that, if your shot placement isn't perfect, then
Right.
that fireball does nothing to anybody.
My favorite...
The concussion of a ball of flame, you would
Yeah.
think an explosion of that magnitude would at very least push a person off of a motorcycle.
No, she
Not so much.
drives right through it.
Yep.
My favorite bit was when she shot the guy and he blew up in flames.
Yes.
That was probably my favorite whole bit in the whole movie. That and the idea of Jeffrey Combs and this woman dating, like that just was.
The idea of Jeffrey
And she
Combs-
had, like, they had really good chemistry. Like she was
Yeah.
all over him. Like
Yeah.
he was on
It
the
didn't seem
phone.
awkward. Yeah, it didn't seem awkward between the two. The fact that they were together and the fact that she was clearly into punk rock music, which if you were to look at this woman, you'd say to yourself, no, she's not. Not even a little bit. But she convinces him to go to the punk rock club that she likes to go to, and where he subsequently is murdered. But you could tell that both of them were the most out of place.
Right.
Even her, the person that likes to go there, and this is like her hang spot. Both of them wildly out of place. However, I will say, great band at this punk rock
Great
club.
band.
Yeah.
What was their song that they kept singing?
Devil metal.
Devil metal.
Is what it was called. Devil metal.
Yeah.
The song starts by the singer just literally hitting himself in the side of the head, saying "Bang your head, bang your head." Yeah.
Yeah. Which is good.
It was good. It was
It's
good
a good
stuff.
dance move.
Yeah.
I liked the band in the nightclub. I liked the guy in the sunglasses with the mustache defiantly mopping up the blood, although actually not mopping up any blood because the blood spot was still there.
Right, just
while
pushing
the
him up
police were still investigating.
Literal chalk line around the blood spot.
Yeah.
And we're assuming janitor
Of this nightclub.
is just pushing a mop next to the blood spot for like 2 minutes straight.
Yeah.
Not touching the blood,
No.
just pushing the mop near it.
Yeah. Crazy, right?
Yeah. Great extra work. Great extra work. There was someone else that was doing
It was
some-
probably Fred's dad. It was probably
Yeah.
Fred Olen Ray's dad or something.
There was, I forget what the person was doing, but I do remember in this movie thinking to myself, like, this guy is also doing some, when she's at the motorcycle shop in the beginning of the movie, and there's just a random biker standing next to her, and the guy has an aerosol can of something, maybe a lubricant or spray paint or something,
Right.
and he's really studying this can real hard.
Right.
He needs to know everything about this can. Obviously doesn't have a speaking mind, so he's going to do something other than just stand there at the scene and look
Also,
like a tough biker.
He lifts up his t-shirt at one point.
He does, and he goes to steal a part, and the bike owner, shop owner, or whatever, yells at him from the back, like he just knew, and he's like, "Oh, that cost $75, so you better put that back." And the guy takes it back out and puts it back on the counter. Yeah, great extra work.
Yeah,
Good
incredible.
stuff.
And I like that we got to see his gut.
We were just once again showing off everybody's odd shapes.
Yeah. And I like the fact that the guy who ran the bike shop, which was the Hunts guy, Hank Hunts or whatever his name was, which seems to me like that's got to be a stage name, like he's got to be. But he seemed like part midget or something. Like he was a very small man, hardly any neck.
Yeah, and he was wearing overalls and a tie-dye T-shirt.
Right. And had way too much of a part in this movie for his part. Like it kept cutting back to him. And there was even a sequence when Jeffrey Combs, for no reason, called him to say, "Oh, did you just see my girlfriend? Was she there?" Well, we just saw that she was there. Like, the only reason to put stuff in a movie is to inform the audience of more things.
Right. Where they when they overly explained all the details of the motorcycle that no one ever uses.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, at one point, like, she was being chased by all these things. I was like, okay, this is the point where she uses the nitrous, right?
Yeah. No.
No.
It was the point where they used the knife.
Yeah.
Nope. She uses the rocket once.
Do you remember the series Street Hawk?
No.
It was like the bike version of Knight Rider.
Ooh.
This is Jesse Mock, an ex-motorcycle cop injured in the line of duty. Now a police troubleshooter. He's been recruited for a top-secret government mission to ride Street Hawk, an all-terrain attack motorcycle designed to fight urban crime, capable of incredible speeds up to 300 miles an hour and immense firepower. Only one man, Federal Agent Norman Tuttle, knows Jesse Mock's true identity. The man, the machine, Street Hawk.
Right, so you had, like, the A-Team was the van,
Right.
the Knight Rider was the car,
Right.
Street Hawk was the bike, and Airwolf was the helicopter, but they were all basically the same.
It's all the same show. Yeah.
Although the A-Team were by far the best show, like best written show and the best cast show of the lot. And I don't think Street Hawk's ever been released, whereas the A-Team and Knight Rider have both been released. But it was all that kind of Saturday afternoon American television, you know what I mean? Like the Hulk or like Charlie's Angels or like any of that stuff. So, thank you. So, like, in Street Hawk, I felt like he used the nitrous or the speedy bike thing, whatever it was, the super
technology,
boost,
right?
just to go down the shops and buy, you know,
just to show
Hawk
off.
links or whatever.
Because
Right?
he had it. That's why. Because he's a free American, and when you have stuff, you can just do stuff.
Right.
If you have it, use it.
And they used to have a really great shot in Street Hawk that was meant to be from the handlebars of the bike looking up at his helmet.
Right.
So that when it went into like turbo boost or whatever it was, you'd see his helmet like doing this, like
Yeah.
moving around. It was like a really random shot. I guess so they could like project things whizzing by without having to just sort of Benny Hill speed it up, you know. Because believe it or not, Jay, turbo boost on a bike doesn't exist.
Come on. First off, I don't appreciate you lying to me just now. Second of all, if it doesn't exist, it's about to.
Right.
I'm about to go back to my home invention shop.
Right.
I'm about to go back to my secret lair and invent it.
Nice.
I'm about to make the real Cyclone.
I wouldn't, because Martin Landau and the Asians will come after you.
I'm not afraid of the Japs. I already buy their motorcycles.
But also, I fail to believe that Jeffrey Combs and his little workshop behind his fireplace invented something that the greatest minds on the planet haven't been able to replicate.
Right. And then is easily murdered just by going to a club and...
Right. Also, he didn't want to go.
Right.
They were running late.
Correct.
Right. So the fact that they were definitely there waiting for him rather than, I don't know, waiting outside his house was a bit bizarre. I suppose that was it. I suppose the reason why he didn't want to go to the nightclub is why she felt guilty. Because she forced him to go to a place he didn't want to go to, and he got murdered. Even though they had his telephone number. Like, they had his number.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it would have been that difficult to find him. I think they didn't... Again, they went and ransacked his house after they killed him, and they still didn't find the
I
bike.
have to have this all. I can't eat any more of this. I really can't. It would be... If I put any more of this into my body, I would...
It's going to come back out?
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't do that.
No. Because not only is it like a ton of meat, but it feels to me like it was cooked in a particularly heavy oil.
I'm sure it was. I'm sure it was.
Well, I'm going to say I did quite well.
You did okay for a first timer.
Yeah. When you said a large amount, I still thought it would come on one plate.
Nope.
This thing cost me like $50 or something. No?
Nope. It won't.
That's real cheap.
Yep.
I mean, there was like a whole packet of bacon. That's got to be at least 8 ounces to 10 ounces of bacon. And that was definitely a whole packet of breakfast sausages.
I told you.
Because we had, 7 breakfast sausages in that packet we had the other day. And there was at least 7 links on it.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So this was like, that's ridiculous. I mean, it's glorious. I understand the glory of it. But it's also ridiculous.
It's also way too much food.
Yeah, so here comes the insults. Here come the who invited the limey comments. Limeys don't have stomachs for real American food kind of comments. I'm ready for them. I'm ready for the casual comments. I don't mind. I'm gonna put some fucking syrup on these bad boys right now.
What you like?
No, I have to say that for a low-budget Fred Olen Ray movie in the 80s, it did what it said on the tin. You know what I mean?
Yep. I think the legit, honest, only disappointment of the whole movie is we we both saw this happening and it didn't happen. We both foresaw during one of the chase scenes, one of the cars goes flying off of a bridge where like blow up. Like we both literally said it out loud, like here comes the big blow up car scene,
and it
never blew up.
No.
Yeah, I think that was the only disappointment. But other than that, I think it lived up to what it was supposed to have been.
Had this been a PM Entertainment movie, which they were like the budget action canon. I know Canon was also budget action, but like PM Entertainment was even more so. And PM Entertainment, unlike Canon, who put their money into like stars and exotic locations and seemingly bigger budgets, PM put all their money into stuntmen and martial artists and all the explosions. Right. So there are films that by PM Entertainment where literally all a car has to do is slightly bump another car and they both blow up.
Yeah. As well they should.
Yeah.
As well they should.
There's even one in
which also happens in real life, by the way.
Yeah, in Cynthia Rothrock's Guardian Angel, which is a PM Entertainment movie, in which there are some spectacular mom jeans, I might add. Even a speedboat does it. A speedboat mildly hits some rocks and explodes in multiple, fireballs.
Well, I don't know if you know this, but most boats are covered in gasoline, and most rocks are ferrous. So when a boat hits a rock, it causes a spark, thus lighting the gasoline and causes an explosion. They should probably stop making boats out of gasoline. Just saying, and cars for that matter.
Right.
You'd think we'd be far enough along in technology that we wouldn't have to make them out of gunpowder and gasoline anymore. But no.
It is what it is, though, man. It's the American way.
It's true. And sometimes the Japanese way.
But I have to say, considering the budget and what he had to work with, the stunts and the explosions and all that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And the front cover shows, a highly feathered head, blonde chick on a super motorbike, and that's what we got.
Yeah. She did definitely drive that bike quite a bit. It wasn't like a one short scene or something like that where you're like, all right, she's just transporting it. She doesn't know what she's doing. She definitely drove the shit out of that bike.
I did like her cumbersomely wheeling it into someone's kitchen.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that sequence.
Yeah. But not right away.
No.
Only after drinking a bunch of whiskey. Oh, someone's chasing you and your boyfriend got murdered? Here, drink a bunch of whiskey.
When was that?
When she first goes to her best friend's house.
Oh, really?
Like, hey, I need a place to stay. The first thing she does is pours the biggest glass of whiskey.
Oh, yeah.
Here, drink this. That helps.
And then she's like, wait a minute, where did I leave the bike?
Yeah.
Oh, it's outside? I better get that.
Whoops.
Can I wheel it into your kitchen? Sure, that's what my kitchen was built for. Super bikes.
Yeah, motorcycles fit through my back door.
Yeah.
That's the thing. The average home is wide enough the back door of the average home is wide enough to push a motorcycle through, a super motorcycle.
This is America.
Yeah. You're right. You are correct.
I feel like that's this movie, though. I feel like the answer to any question you would have about this movie would be just simply
America.
It's America, John.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I would say that that's the answer to most things in life. Why did you get so much food? Because America, that's why.
Yeah.
Who's stabbing me right now? America.
Yeah, I have there was enough food left over that a series of either homeless and or orphan children could eat for a month.
Orphan children have a big appetite.
Right.
That's true.
It's because they lack the parental love, so there's lots of space within them.
They fill that void with food.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
That's why you see all those like really fat, healthy-looking orphans running around.
Because they're just filling that void with food.
Yeah. Though I'm quite impressed how much of this you've consumed. This omelette with 5 steaks in it.
Yeah. I feel like I can keep going. Not a lot more, but I can keep going.
Yeah. So, so I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was tremendous. And if people are a fan of sort of 80s action movies with preposterous premises that are just really an extended Knight Rider episode, then then watch it.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah.
Out that door at the front, that way to your right. Not the front.
My only thing is that if your thing is action, there just wasn't enough.
No.
Like, the ending sequence, I thought was the middle of the movie, and then the movie ended.
The movie abruptly ends.
Right. Well, it ends with Martin Landau going, "No, you're not putting any squibs on me. I'm not having a death sequence. I will literally sit at this table, and you can overdub gunshots."
Right.
Yeah. Like, literally the movie ends with her destroying the chance for the human race to ever keep the planet going, ecologically speaking.
Yep.
She just destroys it.
Essentially, she kills the world.
She
By
does.
lightly tossing a small piece of plastic against a brick wall.
Right.
Basically, just dropping it on the ground.
Right. She could have put it back in her bra, where apparently that is impenetrable.
Right.
And will never be found.
Let me tell you, from personal experience, definitely impenetrable.
Yeah.
I've tried. I tried to get
But
that.
she never
out.
took that sweatshirt off. Like, once she got into the middle of the movie, she never took that.
She never changed her clothes, not one time.
No.
Nope.
Even after having hot coffee and poured
Even
on
after
her.
hot coffee being poured on her face and being electrocuted and running and being shot at and being roughed up, clothes perfect. No coffee stain on them, no dirt, no blood.
There was
no
a slight
anything.
dirt. There was slight dirt, I
just
feel.
perfect condition, not covered in sweat.
My other
No-
favorite
no
thing about
burn
this
marks on her
movie
jeans.
was, as if the motorbike wasn't good enough, even the helmet had lasers.
The helmet had lasers, yeah.
Yeah, that was fun.
Bluetooth lasers at that, because the lasers weren't hooked up to anything.
Oh, and until apart from the bit where he explodes the yellow pages, demonstrating said helmet lasers,
Right.
where we find out that the helmet has a computer inside it
Yeah, it certainly does.
that can target and tell you information and blah blah blah
Yeah.
blah blah. We never see that again either.
Never see that again. It's sort of like when you see the view of how Terminator sees things.
Right.
Through his vision.
Yeah.
Very similar. You see that same thing through the visor of the helmet.
Right.
But only in the first 10 minutes and then never again.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I do enjoy when you see numbers changing for no reason. It's
Right.
it literally could be anything.
Yeah.
Is that distance? Is it calculating something? We
Right.
don't know.
We
It
don't
could
know.
be anything.
It could be anything. Yeah. It could just be that the computer constantly needs to run
Numbers.
Run
Yeah.
numbers.
And we don't know. Maybe that's
could be lottery numbers.
It could be the daily lottery. We
Yeah.
don't know. We have no idea. It could be Powerball numbers. We have
Let's
no
be
idea.
fair, Combs did have the technology in 1987 that I'm pretty sure doesn't exist anymore, which is to run a video, or it doesn't exist at all, run a video on your computer, and then without the video stopping, and with the person being dead, the person being able to realize that you've typed in the magic code in the computer that means you want to keep going.
Right.
Because without a skip, if it had paused, right, then she'd put on the code and the video had kept running, then I would buy it saying thank you, dear, or whatever he says. He says, oh, that's my girl.
Yeah, without stopping.
But it doesn't
Yeah.
stop. He just goes, that's my girl.
And just keeps talking and
keeps
explaining
talking.
what to do. Yeah.
Yeah. But it was just a video.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was just a video. It was
Yeah.
a VHS was playing.
Right. She could have walked out of the room.
He explained-
And gone, okay, I'm not going to have anything to do with this bike.
And it still would have kept
It
running.
was still
Correct. Correct. Yeah. And then he tried to explain oh, your hand touching the computer activated the camera or whatever.
Yeah.
No, it didn't. She didn't touch anything. She hadn't touched anything whatsoever. Furthermore.
No, she did lean on something.
Oh, but they didn't have there was clearly no fingerprint technology
No, right.
doing that kind of stuff at
No.
that point. So that was pretty ridiculous as well.
What he meant was, oh, you've turned off the screensaver, and
Right.
here comes my...
Yeah. Now that I'm dead. Yes, please. And a water as well. Thank you. Yeah. Thanks for touching the computer. Now this video will start running.
Yeah. Also,
That would have meant he would have had to literally set the video and the computer every time he left. Because how else would it just turn on? Like,
Right.
how was he to know, like, tonight's going to be the night that I die?
Yeah.
Like, he would literally, every time he left the house,
Yeah.
or left the laboratory, he'd have to, like, set up this whole elaborate camera system.
It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems a bit much for me.
Yeah.
A little too involved.
Right.
I'd just be a
And how do you get a contractor to make a secret room behind your fireplace? Also, what about the chimney? Unless it's a fake
false
fireplace.
chimney, I guess. I don't know. Oh yeah, I guess it'd be a fake fireplace. The whole wall slid out of the way, so I guess
Right.
it's just a fake fireplace. But or just a false chimney as well. You know, at the top of the house, it
Yeah.
doesn't lead to anything.
Yeah.
It would make sense. I don't know. Yeah, the
But yeah.
technical aspects of this movie are mind-boggling.
Suspend disbelief.
Yeah,
Definitely.
which is, for me, is super difficult to do.
Right.
Like, I get it's a movie, and I get it's strictly for entertainment value, and I understand that, you know, they have to cut scenes, so maybe
Right.
things don't make as much sense as they could have, or
Right.
whatever.
Let me ask you a question. Had she been topless 2/3 of the movie, would that have helped?
No, because she had an odd-shaped body. I'm afraid that would have been the biggest of disappointments.
Right.
Would be seeing her.
Who is Heather Thomas and why was she in this movie? I feel like
I can't answer that.
she wasn't a bad actress. Like, for what she had to do, she wasn't bad.
No, wasn't that? She wasn't that bad. No one was really that bad.
Right.
Maybe the female FBI agent wasn't that great.
Right.
She wasn't bad by
No.
any stretch.
No.
It was just unbelievable. She was unbelievable.
If anything, for like an 80s movie, the acting was pretty good.
Yeah.
Combs is great. Combs is always great. Landau is great. He's always great.
The Japanese guys were good. Like,
They were right.
you could.
Intimidating enough.
Yeah, you know, they had a couple of henchmen and the
Right.
kingpin and whatever. They were pretty good. You know, the bike shop owner was a little outlandish, but
But he's got to
He
be
had to be,
someone.
right,
He had to be someone.
I think if he just played it straight and he wasn't off a little bit,
Right.
there would be no point to having that scene. It would just be like, yeah, well, why bother? You know,
Right.
like,
Yeah. No.
it's a forgettable moment. Yeah, I think overall the acting was pretty good. I don't think having her naked would be any sort of bonus.
It's what I miss.
I don't know that it would
It's what I miss.
add to the movie.
It just didn't make any sense. Like normally, if normally like Heather Thomas, something like that for it to be like, she would have to have been either an athlete or a playmate or a
Yeah.
well-known something or other, like something that wasn't an actress. Do you know what I mean?
Right. For her to be like, no, I'm not going
Right.
to take my top off.
Like Pamela Anderson when she first started doing movies, it's like that's why she got movies because she was like a playboy.
Right.
Yeah.
Not the best playmate, but she was a playmate.
Who was?
Pamela Anderson.
Oh, yeah.
Not the best one,
No, I know.
but certainly.
But I'm just saying that's where she.
Not my personal favorite.
No,
No.
she was a willing participant.
A will- yes.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Why are there unwilling participants?
No, I'm just saying she was willing in movies to trade on her playmatedness.
Yeah, I think she's probably still doing that to this day.
Right.
Just nobody wants to see it anymore, really.
Well, she was the last playmate to ever appear nude in Playboy, right?
No.
Yeah, she was, because Playboy stopped doing nude spreads, and she was the last one, I think. The last.
I don't think that's true at all.
Yeah, I just read an article about it.
I don't know about that.
Did you hear that Playboy stopped doing naked spreads? They're not doing that anymore.
Did like they take a recent picture of her?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, then I thought you meant like then, like in the 90s or something. I'm like,
Oh,
that's
no,
not-
I'm talking about now.
No, okay.
I'm talking about now. Like,
Right.
are you looking up Heather Thomas?
I am looking up Heather Thomas. Yes. I want to know.
What does her Wikipedia say?
I'm about to look at it right now.
I'm betting maybe like an athlete of some kind, or a.
I gotta say, she doesn't look that terrible in 2008 from this picture.
She was something before she was an
She's
actor.
an actress, a screenwriter, and an author, is what it says. She was in the TV show The Fall Guy.
Oh, is that what she was famous for? It was like Heather Thomas from TV's Fall Guy.
She was one of the hosts on a series on NBC called Talking with Giant,
Right.
where she interviewed celebrities. In 1978, she began acting in small television roles. She appeared in the series Co-Ed Fever, which was later canceled after the third commercial. After the third commercial? Okay. She played the role of Jodie Banks in Lee Majors' The Fall Guy television series from 1981 to 1986.
So that's why she was in this. That's why. Because it was Heather Thomas from TV's Fall Guy. That's why.
And she also entered rehabilitation for cocaine addiction in 1984. After she appeared in several movies, she quit acting in 1998. She appeared on numerous pin-up posters during the 1980s, so apparently she was a bit of a model as well. Following her acting career, Thomas wrote a screenplay called School Slut and sold it to Touchstone Pictures for a figure reported as the mid-six figures. Touchstone did not make the film, however, Thomas acquired the rights to produce it herself. And in 2008, Thomas's first novel, Trophies, was published by William Morrow.
She wrote a script for Touchstone Pictures called School Slut.
Correct. Yep.
So anyone thinking that Touchstone Pictures was a reputable Hollywood producer, they also purchased Heather Thomas's famous script, School Slut.
School Slut. Yeah.
Which was produced but by her, not by them, right?
They said she had the rights to produce it herself. They didn't say if she actually did it or not.
Okay, fair enough. That makes sense.
Thank you. Yep. Yes, she certainly had the rights to do it. They bought the rights to make it and then sold the rights back to her, apparently. Or just gave
I
her
can
the
only
rights
imagine
back.
what that movie is about. I think it says it all in the title.
I would say so.
It might be like, weirdly enough, it might be like that movie that came out with Emma Stone. What was it? Easy A?
Easy A, yeah.
It could have been that kind of movie.
It could have been that exact movie, just called something different and produced much better than her shitty script.
Wow.
I don't know that she's got a shitty script. I'm just assuming.
Because I don't imagine it was actually about, like, a slut. Like, I imagine it was about slut shaming or something. Unless it was just a, made for Skinamax type movie.
Right.
But even that to me sounds like a bit on the nose for Cinemax. Like, it would have been sort of co-ed frivolities or something. It wouldn't be like School Slut, you know.
I'm currently looking at some of her posters that she put out in the 1980s.
Oh, yeah. Very good.
And, some of these pictures, she looks like she has a normal person's body.
Right. Maybe it was just the cocaine addiction and the mum genes had...
I don't know, man. No, because look at this one. She has oddly shaped hips.
Yes, she really does. That's not a pleasant...
That's not what human beings look like.
No, that's not a pleasant photograph of a human.
No. She's got a weird shape.
Yeah.
That's not what. She might be an alien or something.
Yeah, Heather Thomas, the alien.
Yeah.
But I don't regret watching this movie. It blows by. It's probably about 75 minutes long. It's not long.
Yeah, it's not. And at no point does it really drag.
No.
And
if you're a fan of B movies, you get your cameos aplenty.
Yeah.
There's just a couple of scenes in it where even for 75 minutes you're like, why is this scene in the movie? You're like, couldn't we have another scene of her just riding a bike, showering or something?
Yeah. Oh yeah. See, that's what they were. I think that's what they were lacking. It was like, yeah. What? At one point, why don't they just show her like relaxing and taking a shower or something?
Right. If Wynorski had made this movie, who is a contemporary of Fred Olen Ray, if Wynorski had made this movie, there would have been far more. Even if Heather Thomas had said, no, I'm a respectable TV actress, I'm not doing any topless scenes, Wynorski would have had 5 of her friends who were all completely willing to do topless scenes,
Yeah, naked pillow fight or something.
Yeah.
Let's have a sleepover. We'll protect you. Let's have a sleepover and take our clothes off.
No, even in Wynorski's movie Hard to Die, which was meant to be chicks who work for a lingerie company fighting off like a demon kind of thing. Even in that movie, when they get there to do their day's work, they all decide to take a shower.
Oh yeah. so you do at the end of the day, John. Everybody gets naked
No,
together.
it's the beginning of the day.
Oh, well, as everybody does to start their day, is everybody takes their clothes off, obviously. That makes sense. Can't start off the day dirty.
In fact, you need to see some Wynorski movies. Even in his horror movies, he just has prolonged shower sequences.
That's what sells.
Yeah,
That is exactly
in one
what
of his
sells.
in one of his films, he works out a way. They all get dirty tidying a house, so they all strip down to their underwear, right?
Oh,
And then he works out a way to get them all outside because they're scared about the ghostly demonic presence that's in the house. They all run outside, and as they run outside, it starts raining. So they're in their underwear and they're wet.
Convenient.
It's a Wynorski classic maneuver.
It's the highest of brow.
Yeah, it is. And Fred Olen Ray should have done more of that.
I agree.
I feel,
I mean, he tried a little bit.
without wanting to sound like a lecherous,
Yeah, no, you're perfect. We get it. Clearly he tried to do that with the gym scene,
Right.
in the locker room and whatever.
Yeah.
But
Oh no, it was put in there. Like
Yeah.
this is still not a kids movie.
no, I wouldn't let any children watch this movie.
And
If they cut out, you know what? If they cut out that scene, I would. If they cut out the gym scene.
even with the people getting machine gunned down, because there was quite a few squibs in this movie, which people didn't get machine gunned and then just not bleed.
Yeah, well, one guy did. The guy that got shot from the top and fell down in the warehouse.
Right, but
did
he
bleed.
had a stunt though.
Yeah.
So
That guy didn't. Everybody else did bleed though.
yeah.
Yeah. When
Which I liked, because there's a lot of these movies where you see people gunned down and they just inexplicably hold their chest and fall over. You know what I mean?
Well, we'll say whatever Bob Jenkins or whatever gets shot in the chest, squib goes off, then gets shot in the spine with a crossbow. Apparently, crossbows don't do anything to the human flesh because it just went into his body.
Yeah.
No blood came out or whatever. He just punches over it.
Yeah. Well, Bob Jenkins
it was just a clean shot. Like, what happened?
Also, what's hilarious is this guy could be the savior of humanity, right?
Yeah.
And his name's Bob Jenkins. That's the first thing.
Also, can't ride a motorcycle.
Yeah. Secondly, he can't ride a motorcycle. So almost, and he was like, "This is hilarious." She showed up in the motorbike and went, "It's yours." And he goes, "I can't ride a motorcycle, and I'm in my car, lady."
Yeah. Like, what am I going to do with my car? I'm not just going to leave it here.
Right.
You couldn't possibly drive it to my house for me.
Oh, and this is when the chase happened. That they were in a station wagon,
Yeah.
chasing a superbike in a station wagon.
Right. And keeping pace with it, no problem.
Right. For people listening to station and who don't know, a station wagon is basically the Clark Griswold car.
Yeah.
Minus the wood paneling. This one didn't have wood paneling.
No. And it also didn't have a roof after one point.
No. Which I feel like they went to the junkyard and went, "What car runs?
Yeah.
Just give me a car that runs." And they went, "We have a station wagon." And Fred Olen Ray went, All right.
Yeah, all right. Fine.
"Whatever I can afford."
All right. Well, we're going to cut it in half anyway, so who cares?
Well, he did give the lady the line. She was like, "Can this piece of shit go any faster?"
Yeah.
No.
The answer is no. No, it cannot. No, it cannot. But it can keep pace with the world's fastest motorcycle.
Right. Because I feel that a station wagon has a trunk that's almost like twice the length of the car, meaning the car is a normal length, and then the trunk is like a whole other length of the car. Like, that's how big station wagons are, right?
Yeah, they're big. It's just the big open cargo area in the back.
Right.
Essentially, it's a pickup truck that's covered over the back, you know?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would, if I was ever going to get a station wagon, it would have to be the wood paneling kind.
Good luck trying to find one of those nowadays.
The classic.
Classic.
The classic.
The good kind. That's what
Yeah.
you meant to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Terrible car. Again, the technical aspects of this movie are mind-boggling.
Yeah.
Literally mind-boggling. Like,
Yeah.
there's no way.
And at no point in the chase, I just assumed at some point in the chase she'd be like, "I need to go nitrous on this
Right.
SOB."
Yeah.
Press the button and just boom.
Not even the once.
No. She did some impressive jumps though.
She did do a couple of jumps.
Yeah.
She did do a couple of jumps. Seemingly no damage to the bike whatsoever after all of the things.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, they had super armor on it, Jack.
that's true. If the bike did, if this Bob Jenkins getting murdered scene, they do shoot the bike a bunch of times. No damage to the bike. It's just deflected bullets.
Well, I had super
super on there.
Super on, yeah. And it also, as we found out, had the paint on it was the same paint that they use on stealth bombers.
Yeah.
So that it couldn't be picked up by radar.
Right.
Which also a complete non-factor in this movie whatsoever.
Right.
Other than this is, and he was using an airbrush to paint the bike. An airbrush.
Yeah.
Not a spray paint.
No.
Not a spray gun. An airbrush.
Yeah. That was ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. It was a good movie though. I enjoyed it. Go watch The Cyclone. And if you ever want more, if you ever have a family of 8 and you want to feed them for $30, come to Carl's, Oxford, whatever it is.
Carl's Oxford Diner, in Oxford, Massachusetts.
You will just order one thing on the menu.
Just the one thing. And you can feed your
family like. That's the best. That's the best ad I can give to this place.
One size feeds all.
I absolutely love the aesthetic of the place, though.
Yeah.
This is like a proper.
This is a real diner.
This is
a diner.
Yeah. This is where hardy American men come after shoveling snow and building things. I had a fun day building shit.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to go down and have a diner meal.
Yeah. We're sitting in a booth. It's just a wood bench.
Yeah.
There's no cushion on here.
No. We don't need a cushion.
Wood booth. That's right. We're at a diner. You don't need anything else.
Because if you eat here every day, your ass is the cushion.
It's true. That is true. If you're a regular here.
Yeah. I can already feel the veins in my arms constricting.
Yeah. I'm going to have a heart attack tonight. That's going to happen.
Tonight.
Yeah. And I didn't even finish all of my food. I got close, but I didn't finish it all.
It's going to be an American heart attack, though.
Yeah.
And you're going to feel free.
Yeah, I'm going to feel good about it.
Yeah.
It's going to be one of those, I'm like, ooh, my heart feels tingly. So I know I'm alive.
Yeah. As you convulse, an American flag will unfurl from your nostril or something.
You just hear the Star Spangled Banner playing, seemingly from nowhere.
Yeah, you'll bleed just blue and white out of one nostril and red out of the other.
I do that anyway. I leak all kinds of colors. I secrete all of the different colors.
Yeah. So, no, I enjoyed Cyclone. Fred Olen Ray, 1987, starring Heather Thomas. It's on a 4-pack with Alienator, Eye of the Tiger, and The Exterminator 2 from Scream or Shout Factory, I believe. Shout Factory, I believe, put it out as a 4-part.
Does he box for that?
Yes, please. Yeah, thanks.
Oh, he didn't call you a pussy or anything.
No.
That's good.
Would he normally call me a pussy?
Usually on the weekends.
Excellent.
The crew would
I don't mind being called a pussy. I can handle it. Thank you, sir.
I can't. I'm good, thank you. Like that, like your leftovers are too much for one meal.
Yeah. There's actually a song about freedom playing.
Yeah, there is.
Which I like. There should always be a song about freedom playing when we're around, Jay.
I feel like in my heart there always is one.
It's because you're proud to be an American.
Yeah.
Where at least you know you're free.
You know that.
God damn it.
Yeah.
So there we go. That was Cyclone, and that was the wonderful Carl's Oxford Diner. Do they sell those t-shirts?
I believe they do.
I might have to get one of those t-shirts.
Do it. You might be the first person in a long time to buy one of those. Maybe not. Maybe
I quite like them though. They've got that like nice like 50s bowling font on them.
Yes, they do. Also, another fun thing about Carl's is for advertisement. Not that this place isn't always packed, but for their own advertisement, they don't buy billboard ads. They don't run commercials on TV. What they have is they have 2 vehicles that they've painted to look like a pig.
Right.
And it says Carl's Oxford Diner on them. One of them is a small school bus, which they just park around. So you just randomly see it parked in places, parking lots,
like a short bus,
like a retard bus. I don't want to say that, but you made me say it. They have a retard bus that's painted to look like a pig.
You could just say, mentally disabled bus.
I could, but I didn't say that.
Right.
And they've made it...
This is not the after-movie PC diner.
Okay. Well, good, because I said retard
because we've already said
Jap.
Yeah, we've implied the word cunt.
I didn't say it, you did. I didn't say that one.
And now you've said retard. Right. So this is a all-encompassing un-PC episode.
Correct. And you're welcome. We're going to have to bleep a lot of things out of this episode.
No, I'm going to keep it all in.
So they do they've dressed up two vehicles to look, one being a short bus,
Yeah.
which if you look at the back of this gentleman's t-shirt, you'll see the bus,
Right.
the pig bus.
Nice.
And it says Carl, and then the other one I believe is like a Volkswagen Beetle or something.
Right.
They've made to look like a pig. So instead of buying traditional advertisement, they park these vehicles around, which is a little misleading because you're like, hey, look at that thing, and it says Carl's Oxford Diner. Clearly, this is this is just a parking lot.
Right.
So a bit confusing, but kind of fun that they've adopted a mascot for themselves, if they will.
like it.
Yeah, kind of fun.
It's good. It's excellent. Well, I can suggest anyone who is passing through Oxford, Massachusetts, stop at Carl's. And like I say, just order
Just order one thing. Don't
I
order
would
more than one
just
thing.
order the fruit cup.
I don't even know that they have a fruit cup here. I feel like unless it's cooked in clarified butter, they don't make it here.
No, but you know what I mean. Just order I even think one
Like you
portion
can't,
of something.
you
is
can't
too much.
order one pancake. Like if you order like a small thing of pancakes, it's the size of the plate, and it's
I
at least
imagine
two.
if I had ordered a milkshake, it would have come in a series of buckets.
Yeah.
Like it would have been a normal milkshake cup, but then the rest
also
of the
get the
milkshake would
5-gallon pail.
It would have
Yeah.
come in a vat, an oil drum.
Yeah. It was mostly made of oil. I think that's the point.
Yeah. It's not settling well in
No.
my stomach.
No.
Whatever I've eaten.
It separates very quickly.
I'm going to feel it for days.
Yeah.
That's the the Carl's Oxford guarantee.
I don't know how I'm going to drive us home. I'm going to fall asleep just on the ride home. I'm so full.
But no, this was a pleasure, Jay.
No,
And,
it's all my pleasure, John. Anytime spending time with you, especially on the After Movie Diner, is my pleasure.
Wow, look at that, ladies and gentlemen. No one has
It's
ever
an
said
honor
that.
and a pleasure.
Excellent. And with that, let's end the show.
And you can hear this week's guest, Jay Mayo, on his own show, the tremendous Hold The Mayo podcast, which can be found on iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker, wherever podcasts are normally found. That's Jay Mayo's Hold The Mayo podcast, where he interviews all sorts of fantastic and fascinating people from the world of stand-up comedy, performance, acting, writing, all sorts of great stuff. So please do check that out. And I was up with Jay in Massachusetts this weekend just gone, where we were also recording some music. And I would like to play one of the tracks we worked on this last weekend just gone now on the show for you. I do hope you enjoy the song, and again, if you've enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to rate and review us on iTunes, Stitcher, wherever podcasts can be rated and reviewed, and also don't forget to tell your friends about the After Movie Diner. Thanks very much. See you next week. Hey, man in the men's hat, don't look at her like that. It's bring your dog to work day. Nobody cares about your cat. There's a murmur in the train car, no louder than the headphones hiss. You can all argue amongst yourselves. I'll always be happy doing this. Don't take away from the moments. Don't pass them off as so It's just